Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. It looks like, once again, I have been, what is the word I'm thinking of? Not skulking, shirking, maybe, my duty of playing enough games for Prismata to think I'm a cool dude. And meanwhile, I have acquired another platinum ticket through the arena, not the arena, the casual match. So we'll just use that and queue on up. Look at that, Koskat, he is a good player. A better player than I am, probably. What's the deal here? Clusterbolt, Shredder are both pretty strong. Like, Shredder is great soak, and Clusterbolt is a good way to, like... They both work together well because Shredder doesn't mind being attacked by Clusterbolt's stuff, right? And it's a cheap way to produce more attack that it's hard for your opponent to get rid of. So I kind of like that idea. I'm a little bit worried about Plexocells letting the opponent defend somewhat comfortably against Clusterbolts. Like, the question is, can someone get a Lucina up in time against these sort of 3 pressure units? I don't think you're even really going to get the Hannibal, but it sort of synergizes with Shredder because it's like another frontline high health unit. But I don't think you really want to invest in red to get there. You just want more blue and more green. I think I'm going to try that. And the question is, can you get Lucina going against that? I think the answer is probably not. We'll see, though. So we're going to want a fairly small number of drones. But I don't think I want to build, like, Drone Conduit yet. I'll build, like, Drone Conduit, Drone Blast Forge, and then start, like, building Shredders and Conduits, basically. Okay, so he is also going for Cluster Bolts. Unclear yet whether he's planning to get Shredders as well. I think that you should. It helps a lot against the enemy Cluster Bolts, but he's not going to. Okay. So now it gets interesting. He's just committing basically to mass Cluster Bolt, is what it looks like to me. I think Shredder is a strong counter to that, so I'm considering getting a second Blast Forge instead of a second Conduit here. Right? Like, each Shredder has 4 health, and each Cluster Bolt does 4 damage, and they have the same supply. So if you can just, like, empty the Shredders, you can survive every Cluster Bolt in the book. I think I like that idea. I have Plexocells available to defend even more health, which means I can attack with the Shredders and start getting to his drones, so he can't build, like, too many Gauss Cannons behind. Okay, now he gets the Blast Forge. He's not Cluster Bolting me yet, that's fine. Do I need more drones? Right now I have 14. 15 would let me build triple Shredder, but I don't really want to do that. Should this Shredder be a wall? No, I don't think so. I could also get another Conduit. Just have access to more Plexocells. I feel like I'm going to be under a lot of pressure. He's clearly saving up to Cluster Bolt me, and when he starts, I'll want Plexocells. Well, Plexocells are going to suck, actually, against... Because I'm going to have Shredders and he can target them down. So I probably won't want Plexocells. I think I'll just take another drone. I can just hold back enough Shredders on the turns when he does decide to Cluster Bolt. Okay, here comes a Cluster Bolt. But that's fine. fact, I could force field here. Would he rather kill 2 NGs or 1 Shredder? I think he'd rather kill 2 Shredders, so I'm not going to defend the 2 NGs. I'll just, like, replace one of them. And, do I need another drone? Or more engineers? I could get an Animus. I think I actually have like enough stuff already to survive his cluster bolts, so maybe I can't build an Animus yet. Okay, I think I'm going to be okay with a drone here. I only need the engineers if he kills these 2 engineers, and I don't expect him to do that. If he does, I can like force field or something in response. Interesting that he only built 1 cluster bolt. Why wouldn't you? I guess he didn't build 2 because I threatened to breach his wall. I see. Right, if he gives me 1 more Gauss charge, I get his wall. Yeah, okay, good. So he is killing the Shredders, which is exactly what you want against Cluster Bolt, is you want your opponent to be killing your Shredders. Okay. So he's trying to give himself time to get a Lucina. That's what all these extra drones are about, right? What if I gave him a cluster bolt? It would offer him a very, you know, like, slight chance of a breach. Like, I could just hold a drone, or I could force field to prevent that. Probably he's still gonna kill the 2 Shredders, though, this way. So I should probably just do this. He won't actually kill the drone, is my prediction. And this makes it harder for him to get the Lucina that he appears to want. Although, honestly, is he ever going to really be able to get it? I don't know about that. Maybe what I need is some more tech to attack with. I can't quite build enough. I don't have enough to do this. I think I just need more drones, actually. And since I'm defending with drones, it should probably... I'm not really defending with drones. I'm just offering to defend with drones if he doesn't kill the Shredders, which I think he will. Okay. Alright, here comes the Lucina, I guess. It doesn't seem to fit well with a, cluster bolt plan, but I guess it, like, fits with plexo cells, sort of. I could, like, try to get Animuses myself here. I'd like to add more attack. Maybe I just build a Gauss cannon. I think I need more engineers, actually, because he's gonna next turn be threatening this. Like, he's gonna be threatening 4 attack. Ugh, I can't build a drone. I guess this will do. I feel like he should actually plexo here. So, interestingly, attacking with all these Shredders just kills a single engineer. I would rather just hold them all back. Of course, then he kills 2 Shredders exactly, which kind of sucks for me. Okay, let's try to get our own Lucina, actually. I think I can manage this. I'm floating a blue, which stinks, but I have a ton of defense available in the form of all these Shredders. So So I have the lead on attack. He mostly has the lead on green, I guess is what he has. Now, here, this attack actually does something. Do I build the Lucina right away? I could build a couple Tarsiers first, but I think this is enough. This is good. Yeah, this is looking like what I want to do. I don't know. I feel bad about having floated the blue here. So this, yeah, this clearly does something. The Plexo's no good because he can just kill a bunch of shredders if he wants. I don't think the Hannibal's that great either, honestly. It should just be like this. Ugh. I'm running out of like brain. I think I'll try this. No force field. Okay. Yeah, he's... ugh. I really don't like that I'm losing these shredders, which are like the main advantage that I had, and I'm not building up enough attack to keep up with him. I'm not sure how this happened. I don't like my position, and I don't really know what is going, like how we got to that spot. I'm suddenly like, I have less drones, I'm not attacking, my shredders are dying. What happened? Yeah? I mean, I guess what happened is he got out to Lucina faster, right? But I think a lot of it was to do with the extra green that he had access to like, make more cluster bolts to keep me from developing stuff? I don't know. This sucks. I'm like miles behind on everything, aren't I? Yeah. He has so much green. These plexo cells are really more efficient now. I didn't want them earlier because they wouldn't fit with Shredder, but okay. I mean, he's attacking for 17, and I'm attacking for like 12. Yeah, okay. We're dead here. Blech. I still don't totally get this. I guess, like, I don't know. Having... I don't understand why he was able to get Lucina, and... like, it seems like getting all this green and, like, buying a bunch of cluster bolts I don't understand what that does. It's not that great against Shredder. I mean, I guess it stops me from pressuring so much. Right? I had to build some walls to prevent him from breaching. And then he could deny value to those walls by killing Shredders instead. I mean, and like he's spending all of his tech on just like a wall and some cluster bolts every turn. So he can afford to like keep droning and droning and droning. Build engineers to replace the few that I'm killing with my Shredders. It just like, God, I don't know. Maybe I need to build more conduits to like threaten more pressure so he can't get the Lucina. I don't get it. This doesn't seem like you should really be able to get Lucina after... Like, okay, what are the high... The high defense... Lucina wants defense, right? And these are kind of the defensive units you can build, because they're these, like, high health frontline guys, relatively cheap per HP. And these are all the units he didn't buy. Like, okay, yes, Plexo, great defense. Cluster Bolt feels like the opposite of defense. It creates attack against yourself, and it creates more against the opponent. That's why you buy it. But did it really give him that much tempo that he could get a Lucina while I'm just like screwing around doing nothing? Maybe I needed to like get an Animus earlier so I could put out some Tarsiers. Yeah, maybe instead of the second Blast Forge, I should have gotten an Animus. I would have had to cut a drone to do that. But then I'd be able to build 3 attack per turn instead of 2, right? With my 13 drones, I could build TT3 every turn. I'd have to hold back to defend on occasion, but the Shredders can defend my Tarsiers. I think that's the problem, is that I thought I was pressuring him with Shredders. But really, like, every Shredder I build, he can just build a Cluster Bolt, and it kills a Shredder. Right? And Cluster Bolts don't cost any money, and Shredders do. So he was able to, like, keep building his economy while we just sort of traded a little bit. Whereas I sort of stopped building my economy. If I had built, like, a Shredder and 2 Tarsiers, I'd actually be growing my attack in a way that he can't cope, that he can't directly counter. And maybe that would put on enough pressure. It really doesn't feel like you should be able to get Lucina with no big absorber while cluster bolting yourself, right? Like, Plexocell helps, of course, but I don't know if it helps enough. Anyway, I don't know, like, that was a big... I don't know if building an Animus is a solution to my strategic mistake, but it certainly felt like I must have made some sort of strategic mistake, because looking at this set, I just can't understand how what he did works. And I was just surprised when he had enough drones to build the double Animus into Lucina. And like, ugh, his Plexocell really helped, and he was able to be way ahead on building attackers. I don't know, an instructive game, although I don't know if I've learned what I should have from it. What's on TV? This should be interesting. Ooh. Wow. Emptied the Hannibals. And we have Hellhounds and Cauterizers. Are a good synergy. You know, you produce the engineers for free and you use the engineers to attack. Tinlun. Don't know this person. He's using a platinum ticket, so we've got base plus too much probably. Yeah. Alright, well, you want blue for the Ebb Turbine. I guess I'll get a Wild Drone. They're just generally good. Green for Isochronous could be alright. Or maybe you go red-green? Like, you want the Ebb Turbine is the thing. I don't think you can just go red-green. But there's enough sort of economical units and not enough rushers in this set that I think you can go high enough econ to have access to all 3 colors. Aegis is pretty defensive, of course. Sentinel is quite defensive. Protoplasm is... It's hard to describe it as defensive. It's an interesting unit. That provides both defense and offense. Like, right when you're at the edge of not being able to build up anymore, you can start protoplasming and hitting really hard. I don't know if I want to get ISOs. ISOs and Immolites is kind of an interesting start to a red-green game. But what are you doing with your red on the off turns, right? Interesting. No wild drone. I think I will build one. And I'm gonna just try to go red-green here. I don't know that I want to get blue. I'm gonna be missing, like, I'm gonna have a small number of drones and just have wild drones instead, which is not ideal. Oops, that's yeah. But I think with this idea of ISOs, maybe I actually shouldn't build red at all. Just get more green to build additional ISOs. And then get the red later. I don't understand what I'm trying to do. I think ISO syncing is just an illusion. I just want like Tarsiers, Sentinels, and Protoplasms, and Immolites, and Blood Pacts, right? Like, maybe Aegises. So I want something like the bottom half of the set here. In which case, this is kind of fine. It's going to be uncomfortable when he starts killing my wild drones. That's for sure. And I wish I had a wall, but, you know, you can't have everything. I'll be interested to see what direction he goes in. I'm surprised. I guess it must be blue, right? Like, that's the only thing that I could see as an excuse not to get wild drones, is that you plan to defend all your drones with absorbers and you don't want your opponent to deny you the wild drone value. Part of the reason that I went for wild drones is because I was planning to invest a lot in red, where you don't mind so much if the opponent kills your wild drone because it relieves some of the pressure. Right, like you're not getting absorb anyway, so sure, deny me absorb by killing wild drones, I don't mind. Of course, he gets Ebb Turbine, which is like pretty big, and I feel real bad about missing it. But I think it's a reasonable decision for me to make. Okay. I'd like another conduit at some point. Maybe this drone should have been a conduit? Hang on, I don't want 2 Tarsiers. I want something like this. Apply some real attack next turn. Start getting the Sentinel value. Yes, and this is a perfect time. If I get a Protoplasm, he'll just kill the wild drone. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'll get like a Rhino, which is okay absorb if he chooses to not kill the wild drone. Like, I won't be sad because I'll have a Rhino. Okay, so he's sort of gearing up to kill all the wild drones over the next 2 turns, which is fine, I guess. Now I can throw in that extra conduit. Is that what I want, though? He's about to start killing wild drones. I won't have enough money to spend all this tech if I'm down to just 9 drones. So I could consider... Actually, what I should do is just get another sentinel. I could consider droning back up. But I don't think I will. I'll just build a sentinel. They're better value than drone. Yeah, and so I don't have to actually block on the rhino. I just have to offer to do it to get him to kill the wild drone instead. I'm not thrilled to have my wild drone killed, of course, but it, you know, means that I can continue to not have to defend. For a little while longer, at least. So what is he developing into next? On 16 drones, he'd like a little more tech than he has, I think. But I mean, another blast forge might be nice for him. If nothing else, he can just like build an Oride core with it on the first turn. And he can always tech back down gracefully with the grenade mech. He could build another conduit to have access to Aegises eventually. So my plan is to next turn build like a Rhino and probably another Sentinel. Followed by Protoplasm on the next turn, probably. I want to be attacking with this Rhino, but I still want to have a Rhino available to threaten to absorb so that he will not be rewarded by killing all my engineers. And Protoplasm, comfortably, will take up pretty much all the money I have. Isn't that nice? I'll be all out of drones. Great. Not thrilled about that. But that's what I'm going to be down to, basically, is I have like 3 turns of being able to build protoplasms, which I hope to be able to use to bust through his walls. If I can't do it over the next few turns, I'm going to be in trouble. And actually, I think I might not be able to, because the Sentinels will be dying off. I'll be attacking for less. I only have, like, 2 permanent attack. And an all-in like this, against someone with Ebb Turbine and Isochronuses, does not seem very fruitful, actually, now that I didn't mean to be committing to, like, killing him in the next few turns, but it feels like that's what I've actually done. And I just don't see that working. I might need to drone back up or stop building Sentinels and build some Tarsiers for a while. Yeah, and of course he has Aegises as well. Oops. So I have to do something like this. And I guess an Immolite? Okay, that lets him like build a new attacker if he spends his green to defend instead of spending blue. But I mean, I don't know. We're making interesting progress. He's burning through a lot of drones, which is sort of what Ebb Turbine is for. It's not exactly bad news for him. But he's not able to build a lot of attackers. Right? He's able to build... Oh, really? That's interesting. What do you want that for? I don't think you want to burn through drones faster, do you? I think just build more green attackers and try to get through me. Basically, while these sentinels are coming off and defending, that's the time that I have to build efficient attackers or drone back up or something, but I don't think I want to drone back up. Let's just build more Immolites and a drone. There you go. I never know whether to build Immolites or Tarsiers. I've talked about that many times on this channel. Immolites feel like lower value than Tarsiers to me, but they're much faster value, and that makes a big difference. It takes several turns before a Tarsier is better than an Immolite, and even at that, it doesn't get better very quickly. Applying the pressure early, I hope, is the right answer. I could build, like, another Sentinel next turn. Which would be pretty cool. Right, all this defense that the Sentinel has given me is really nice. But my attack is really dwindling here. I'm not doing much, so... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have 10 drones, which is enough to build Sentinel, Immolite every turn forever. Which is kind of a cool idea. Right, in that way I'm actually building real attack. Permanent attack, even though it's sort of like only half as much as it looks like. And I'm continuing to defend with the Sentinel. Here's a thought. What if I don't attack with Sentinel? He still loses a wall. And I get to save a Sentinel charge. Is that worth doing? I think it is. It means it's slower for me to get the Engineer, but I get one more damage against him eventually, right? What? No, don't do that. 4... Yes, that is a correct defense. What if we attacked for 5? 5 is the same as 7, isn't it? He has to just lose the Aegis. I can't attack for 5, I have to attack... Well, hang on. I'll just attack for 5. Make him lose the Aegis, keep all this stuff around. And is it time to build a protoplasm? It feels like it might be. Oh, right, that would be all of my red. Because then I'm losing 2 rhinos and engineer onto protoplasm, and then attacking for a bunch next turn. We're continuing to delay these sentinels, which I don't love. I'm worried that I won't have time to get value from them if I keep doing this. But I think the exploit is good enough that, that it's worth a try. I don't know. The protoplasm is probably too early. It just felt like a good way to like get some extra defense this turn. I mean that's what it's for, of course, is to get extra defense while applying more pressure. But it's hard to time sometimes, certainly for me. That hurts. But, you know, once you build one protoplasm, you pretty much want to keep building them forever. I can't, I'm out of green. Okay, loaded. That's pretty bad. Really bad. Hang on. Blood Pacts. Okay. I have like 5 permanent attack. That doesn't feel like enough. Yeah, it feels like really not even close to enough. Although he's letting me exploit him again for this Aegis. Effectively attacking for 7. If I hold the 2 Sentinels, or if I... Actually, it would be better to hold 2 Immolites, so I can get the Sentinel value out anyway. I should have done that the previous turns I was exploiting him, I think. Well, I don't know. Holding Sentinel actually gives you an attack. Like, holding Immolite just gets you the attack phased a little bit differently. I feel like I'm losing this for sure, though. Like, I don't even know what my advantages are here. I have Sentinels giving me more defense. I have access to Blood Pact. Those are advantages. Oh, I'm not absorbing. Whoops. Does this defend? Ugh. I'm losing an Immolite to do this. I think I'm just dead, right? Not enough green, not enough drones, not enough attack. Yep. Okay, see ya. So, what happened here? I didn't get enough real economy before I started, like, churning out attackers. And, like, that was sort of my plan, but I think it's just a bad plan. Right? You can't live on 9 drones forever against someone who has access to walls and ebb turbines. Sentinels helped a lot with value, but I built a lot of stuff that doesn't really threaten to kill your opponent in a big hurry. And also, he was like... He had Isochronuses, so, you know, you can't kill that in a hurry, even if you do breach. And what that means is that, like, the game is gonna go long, the Sentinels are gonna stop attacking, the wild drones are gonna be dead, and I'm just gonna, like, have no drones and no attack. So this was sort of a predictable outcome to the game, even though I didn't really see it coming. I'm not gonna look for, like, smaller tactical mistakes. There were plenty of strategic errors in that one. And I'll try to get in a 3rd game this episode. Probably a mistake. I think it'll be a bit long, but I don't want to start another episode right now. We'll just do another game this episode. Tinlun and Casca, those are the 2 people we just played, isn't it? Looks pretty blue. I don't think that Feral Warden is going to beat Omega Splitter and Oxide Mixer, especially, like, I don't know. How does Vivid Drone play in? Also, very interesting to me that Casca has gotten just a single Vivid Drone and gotten green. Maybe he thinks that, like, with Endotherm Kit is enough to combine with the Feral Warden to beat Omegas? You can just build attack really fast and... No? He just really wanted access to some green, I guess. He wasn't committing to, like, very fast attack. Turn 1 conduit is not something you get to see that often. I actually don't know what direction he's going, because the conduit suggests one of these, you know, Feral Warden or Endotherm kit, which are very early game units. Very low econ units. He's built a 3rd engineer now. I don't imagine he'll be building triple drone. I sort of expect wild drone, drone, and a tech building. I guess Animus is the tech building that fits into that curve best and explains the green. So I guess that's what he's up to, is building like Tarsiers, Wardens, and Endotherms. His opponent seems to be going for blue. Right, that's the only excuse for all of this, all of these engineers, is that you want to go for a pretty high econ. And the only excuse for that is the Omegas. So I kind of want to not get matched here. I mean, I could click and cancel, but I do want to get matched. But I want to see what Koskot's up to. Is he building? Yeah, drone, wild drone, Animus. Okay, that's what I predicted. Oxide Mixer is like a good support to the blue. It lets you build up attack without giving your opponent absorb. Yeah, okay, here's the Endotherms that he thinks are countering the Omegas, so that's sort of what I concluded he must be doing when he built the really early conduit. But it's still 2 Frostbites to counter a single Omega. I guess the thing is you can get the attack out pretty fast before your opponent really has Omegas. Interesting. Yeah, you can sort of never get the first Omega. Yeah, you can. Like, you have a lot of time. I wonder if you should have cut 2 drones here to build 2 Blast Forges and then build Omegas next turn. Like, you still have enough econ to build Omega every turn that way. And that way you'll have 2 before the Frostbites arrive. Which you can, like, sort of do an okay job defending with. Your opponent won't have that much attack. If they breach and kill a couple drones, not a huge deal, because they won't be killing your Omegas, probably. And the threat of you attacking with Omegas means that he'll be holding back Feral Wardens, maybe? Yeah, probably not. If you ever have to hold back Feral Wardens to, like, prevent a breach, you're in pretty bad shape. So you just generally don't do it. Okay, so this looks like these 2 units synergize pretty well. The Hellhound and the Windsor kind of thing. Energy Matrix, I think, means Zatron's not really in the picture. Yeah. So I think it's correct to do this, to get a 3rd engineer. Because of Energy Matrix. My opponent disagrees. He thinks that Windsor is fast enough. But I don't know, with Hellhounds too, like, are you just gonna build a super fast Windsor is your plan? I guess. Well, maybe I shouldn't drone too hard. Yeah, I'm gonna drone too hard against that. That's my plan. Is say, like, look, I'll have Energy Matrix, I have... Okay, I see. He doesn't have to build the Windsor right away, and indeed he can't. But he can build Hellhound. Hellhound Tarsier is pretty cool. Do I want... I don't think I want a second Blast Forge yet. Yeah, I do, because I can get the first Windsor this way. Or I can get an Energy Matrix, whichever one is more convenient for me. Or I can get 2 Hellhounds. There's a lot of options opened up by this Blast Forge. So I think I'm going to do that. I don't think I want another engineer. I think I'd rather just save my money for building attackers. Do I have enough tech to spend all of my money next turn? I could just like double Hellhound, but that's pretty weak. I think I'm probably going to build an energy matrix and then 2 Tarsiers. Which is what, 16? I can drone as well. That seems all right. I like where this game is going. I have the Wincer. I have the energy matrix. He has more attack. I'm not too far up in drones, but I'm doing all right on that front. These Wincers come in at the same time, or these Tarsiers come in at the same time the Wincer does, which is nice, and I can build some Hellhounds next turn to arrive at the same time as well, if I want. Zatron, huh? Okay. I'm gonna need more tech soon. No, I have enough green that I can like... I can spend any excess gold on Gauss cannons, and it's not that bad. I don't need more tech to spend all this gold yet, anyway. And in fact, I'm about to lose some drones to the Windsor, so it's even less of a good idea to invest in more tech. Yeah, I want just more Hellhounds, I think. It would be interesting to at some point get a Zatron of my own, but I think I'm happy enough with my energy matrix. You could just press Q, it would figure it out, but sure. So he's now tied in drones. Shiver Kitty, really? That's interesting. Okay, so I can no longer... Actually, I can. He only has 1 freeze, not 2. But 8 attack, yeah, that's fine. It's perfect for me to defend this. I just want to build more attackers. And probably another engineer. Actually, he probably has like 0 freeze, right? No, he can keep the Shiver Yeti if he wants, but like, is he really gonna be able to click it? I don't know about that. How is he gonna? Is he gonna like double force field here? No. Okay. Because like he wants the energy matrix, but he also can't lose the Zatron. So it's awkward for him. So what exactly happened here? I think the main thing was that I got 3rd engineer and he didn't. And his early Hellhound is cool. It sort of forces me to wall when I'd rather not. And it allows him to spend his overtech. Interestingly, it also gives him a 3rd engineer, which he could use to triple drone, except that he's way overtech'd. He can't spend $9 on drones this way. I wonder if that was his plan, was to use the Hellhound to build an engineer to let him get the high econ. If so, I think that that's misguided. And for me, this sort of like just transitions pretty comfortably into like getting the first Wincer, getting a Tarsier, and I can comfortably spend all my attack, or all my tech, getting the energy matrix up, Tarsiers. I think this is a pretty clean game for me. It might have been nice at some point to get a Zatron, but I mean, so, okay. Normally, you would like to play Zatron absorbing on it half of the time, right? Because you can think of a wall's absorb as like, at the start of your turn, regain 2 health, but it only works for the last wall you absorbed on, right? Zatron says at the end of your turn, gain 4 health. But it works if you defended on him on the last turn or the turn before that, because he can restore from 1 health to 5 and then 9. And so you're sort of getting 2 health one turn. Sorry. On the turn you absorb on Zatron, you just get Zatron's 4 health back. The off turn you defend on wall, get the wall's 2 health and Zatron's 4 health, right? So you're sort of absorbing for an average of you absorb for 6 once and for 4 once, right? So that's an average of 5. So it's better than Energy Matrix is to like alternate between these two, if you can do it. Is it good to alternate between Zatron and Energy Matrix? It should be, right? Like you alternate between absorbing for 4 the turn you absorb with Zatron, and absorbing for 8 the turn that you absorb on Energy Matrix and let Zatron heal. Which is like an average of 6, right? So it would be nice to have a Zatron available in this even with Energy Matrix, you would still like to have a Zatron. I didn't have quite enough green, and I kept spending it on Gauss cannons. I suppose I could have like cut the Gauss cannon to build more drones and then build a Zatron the next turn or something. But I think that just pressuring him is pretty important. It makes it hard for him to get his Zatron value trading back and forth, so sure, great. And you can see it like works out really nicely. All of my attack is coming in at once. I jump, like if you look at the stats, I jump up from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 21, right? Of course, Windsor gives you 15 of that, but it's still a jump of, 5 more. We timed the Tarsiers to come in with all these other attackers. I don't know. And of course, it's hard to have a Zatron, and like you have to pay for the ability to do this trade-off between Zatron and Wall or Zatron and Energy Matrix. You have to sort of over-defend on the turns when you're not defending on Zatron. Especially if you want to keep a high health unit like Energy Matrix alive while Zatron is absorbing, you have to be over-defending by 5. In exchange, you get like a bunch of health per turn, but it's an expense. So I don't feel bad about building Gauss cannons instead to apply more pressure. Wait, did he? No, he absorbed on Wall. I thought he had absorbed on Zatron, which is silly. Okay. I love these Hellhounds giving me these like when I saw that he was attacking for 6 at this point in the game, I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to lose both my engineers. I'm not gonna be granular next turn. And then I was like, oh, Hellhounds. Like, problem solved, right? I get the 2 engineers back and I'm granular again. It's amazing. Hellhounds are a good, like, they have a very high tech to gold ratio in their cost, which means you can sort of build a lot more tech compared to your drones if you're producing Hellhounds. And when you do, you get like these engineers, which is great. The Windsor goes off, and he builds a Shiver Yeti, which, I don't know, doesn't seem very productive. And I don't know, at this point I'm miles ahead, I think. I've won. Everything I'm doing seems pretty good. I don't see any obvious small improvements I could have made. The overall plan seems fine. So I'm pretty happy with this game, I think. It looks like I correctly concluded this was a high econ Windsor game. Put together a build that works reasonably well to get there, and defended against the attacks my opponent was making, but didn't over-defend. And yeah, everything went pretty smoothly. I'm pleased with it. Great. Okay, well, we managed to finish in less than an hour, which is always nice. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.